evening and welcome to the evening news. I am Kayode Adebayo. The Naira redesign policy have come under pressure in spite of the efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to continue with strict enforcement. The old notes are expected to be out of circulation, ceasing to be legal tender in the next 20 days. However, a survey conducted by newsmen suggests 27.3% of Lagos residents, Nigeria's financial hub and headquarters of Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company, are yet to see any of the new banknotes, much less receive one. 43.2% of 176 respondents called for a 6-month extension of the window set for demonetization of the old notes. Another 18.9% asked for 3 months, while 16.2% were comfortable with a month extension. The proponents of extension limits, such as a year and above, received the least percentage at 8.1%, while those demanding additional 2 months came next at 13.5%. The Senate had asked the Apex Bank to heed reason and move the deadline to the end of June, citing the hardship hasty enforcement will have on Nigerians, while the CBN said the currency redesign is aimed at checking counterfeiting, reducing the volume of money outside the banking system, earlier estimated at 2.7 trillion naira, among others. Some have suggested that the program seeks to mop up black money and checkmate politicians ahead of the February and March general elections. Out of the 18 parties registered for the February 25 presidential election, the major ones are dominating as the campaign ahead of the polls heads into the home stretch. Apart from the ruling All Progressives Congress, People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and New Nigerian People's Party, the remaining 14 parties have not commenced their nationwide campaigns, and their posters and billboards are also not visible. It was learned that many of the smaller parties have either been battling with leadership issues or have been inactive due to a cash crunch. Apart from their involvement in some of the town hall meetings, many of the smaller parties have been silent as they continue to miss the political scene. The Secretary General of the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties, Willie Ezugu, claimed that the big parties have not created a level playing field for the smaller ones to thrive. The Nigerian government's investment as startup funding for the national career is $12.5 million. The transaction advisor to the project, Professor Tilman Gabriel, disclosed this in a write-up, adding that the investment is in line with its 5% share in the project. Speaking on the formation of the airline, Gabriel said the process leading to the formation had been transparent, contrary to the claim by the airline operators of Nigeria and other stakeholders. He stated that the government had ensured a clear ownership structure for the airline under the public-private partnership, noting that the airline had a solid financial foundation with the total investment sum. Gabriel further stated that the national carrier is ready to launch with a fleet of Boeing 737 for domestic services, as the operations control center at the Abuja airport is ready to be opened with the most modern IT systems. He also hinted that the air operator certificate for Nigeria Air had reached phase 3 of the exercise out of the 5 phases, and intending operator is expected to go through, assuring that the airline will be issued a certificate by Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, which will enable it to operate as a scheduled operator. Amid kidnappings, attacks, and destruction of railway infrastructure, the federal government has disclosed plans to establish Nigerian Railway and host Community Security Committee to tackle armed attacks on railway infrastructure and passengers in the country. The move by federal government was unfolded as Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu also met with heads of security agencies and community leaders at the Iwoyii railway station. Minister of State for Transportation Ademola Adegoroye disclosed federal government plan during a tour of Tom Ikimi train station in Iwoyii, Edo State, which was attacked by gunmen. The minister, who sympathized with victims of the attack, said the intention of the perpetrators was to sabotage efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari to resuscitate the rail transport service. He stressed that government was determined to forestall train station attacks. One of the steps, according to him, will be the establishment of a collaborative initiative between the corporation and the host communities. The minister solicited the cooperation of host communities in this regard, stated was in the best interest of the host community to ensure federal government investment and personnel are protected. Wife of the former governor of Osun State, Mrs. Omoyinlola, has charged the well-meaning Nigerians to invest in their environment as part of their social responsibilities to their communities. Princess Oyinlola, who gave the charge at the commissioning of a borehole project constructed by a retired bishop, Bode Ajayi, for Salah Adeoba community, Alekunwodo area in Osogbo. Speaking with Osbc News on the motive behind the project, retired Bishop Ajayi appreciated the constant support of the former First Lady and Wokdiv community. He called on the beneficiaries to handle the project by maintaining it like their own. In his remarks, Chairman of the community, Chief Oladimeji Oyewusi, commended the initiative and promised that people in the community will be adequately mobilized to ensure proper maintenance of the borehole. The project was later commissioned by the former First Lady of Osun State, Mrs. Oyinlola. Osun State Command of the Police has declared Madam Antonia Akimbo, whose photograph appears on the screen, missing. This is contained in a release by the Public Relations Officer of the Force, SP Yemisi Opalola. Madam Antonia Akimbo, who lives at Campus Road, Abaya Gani, in Ile-Ife, was said to have left home since December last year to unknown destination and has since not returned. She is said to be 80 years, dark in complexion, and has no tribal marks. She's about 5 feet tall and speaks Yoruba language fluently. The release enjoins anybody with useful information about her whereabouts to contact the nearest police station for necessary action. Similarly, Blessing Olajide, whose photograph appears on the screen, has been declared missing by the police command in Osun State. A release by the command's Public Relations Officer, SP Yemisi Opalola, and made available to OSBC News, indicates that Blessing Olajide, who lives at the back of Olubushe in Ile-Ife, left home a few days ago and has not since returned. She is said to be 17 years, fair in complexion and without tribal marks. She is about 5 feet tall and speaks Yoruba and English languages fluently. The release implores anybody with useful information about her whereabouts to contact the nearest police station for prompt action. Now to sports. Syria giants Inter Milan have joined the race to acquire Arsenal striker Folarin Balogun, who has continued to attract a lot of interest due to his successful loan spell with Stade de Reims. Reports say Inter Milan will take on AC Milan in pursuit of the Nigerian eligible striker, who has attracted their attention. The 21-year-old having a standout season with Reims, netting 10 goals and providing 2 assists in 16 League One games, breaking several records in the process. His impressive performances have understandably caught the attention of several top clubs, although the 2 rival Italian outfits have shown the most interest. The Gunners reportedly value Balogun, a product of their Hale and Academy, at £34 million. The loanee is unlikely to return to Arsenal permanently due to tough competition from Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah, who are the Gunners' established first-team strikers. This raises the possibility that Balogun could be sold at the end of the season. Despite the potential for Arsenal to qualify for the UEFA Champions League, it may not be easy to decide whether or not to offload Balogun. Now on the foreign scene, Tigrean rebels have begun handing over their heavy weapons as key part of an agreement signed more than 2 months ago to end a grueling conflict in northern Ethiopia. The handover of the town of Aguli, about 30 kilometers northeast of the regional capital, Mekele, was overseen by a monitoring team comprising members of the 2 sides and a regional body, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development. The terms of a peace agreement signed on November 2 include disarming rebel forces, restoring federal authority in Tigray, and reopening access and communications to the region, which has been cut off since mid-2021. Fighting broke out in November 2020 when Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed deployed the army to arrest Tigrayan leaders who had been challenging his authority for months and whom he accused of attacking federal military bases. At the handover ceremony, Tigray Defense Forces representative Mulugeta Christos said the start of the disarmament will play a major role in restoring peace. And that ends the evening news on Osbc TV. Please join us at 7 for major report. Good evening.